Today, I'm going to tell you about the mysterious death of Bethany Deaton, discovered at Longview Lake in Kansas City, Missouri in 2012. A van parked by the lakeside, a plastic bag over victim's head, an empty bottle of sleeping pills, and a strange note. On October 30th, 2012, the body of a young woman found near Longview Lake in Kansas City, Missouri left many questions unanswered. The note, which appeared to be a suicide letter, stated that she chose this evil deed because she couldn't become a real person. But something didn't feel right. Bethany's mother, Carol Leidline, was immediately suspicious. She was convinced her daughter wasn't the type of person who would take her own life. Why would a young nurse, a newlywed, end her life alone by a lake? First, we need to understand who Bethany Leidline was. Bethany was a talented writer born into a devout Christian family near Dallas, Texas, and homeschooled. With her exceptional writing skills, she earned a scholarship to Southwestern University, where she met Tyler Deaton in 2005. Tyler had a charismatic presence that drew many students, including Bethany, into intense prayer meetings. He made many friends, believed himself to be an apostle of God, and his eloquence moved those around him, especially Bethany, who found deep meaning in his words. But there was a secret beneath the surface. Tyler was gay. In their conservative Christian community, homosexuality was believed to be something that could be cured, and Bethany, knowing this, wanted to help heal him. This likely became the starting point of their tragedy. 2 years later, in 2007, Tyler decided to focus on missionary work and attended the International House of Prayer, IHOP, National Conference in Kansas City. Under Tyler's influence, Bethany and more than 20 group members left Southwestern and relocated to Kansas City. They settled into 2 gender-separated houses, forming what they called a community. They lived, ate, and pooled money together, while Bethany became a nurse. Tyler set all the rules and routines of this community, which seemed to transform from a simple religious gathering into a controlled group. Tyler controlled members' clothing, meal times, and even romantic relationships, with punishments for breaking rules. When one community member challenged Tyler's authority, he was completely isolated and ignored for 8 months. Despite this, no one left because they felt they were fulfilling a special mission together and had deep bonds. Surprisingly, Tyler demanded that community members cut contact with their families. He prohibited conversations with family members, claiming they interfered with true faith, and Bethany followed these instructions, breaking contact with her parents. This isolation strategy prevented members from seeking outside advice or help, ultimately depriving Bethany's family of the opportunity to understand her situation. In 2010, Tyler claimed his sexual orientation had changed, and he began to have feelings for Bethany. She was overjoyed, believing Tyler deeply felt her love and had been healed. Their wedding was held in August 2012, but Bethany's family and friends felt like mere spectators. Her friends noticed she seemed lifeless and had a premonition this would be the last time they would see her. Moreover, a shocking truth was revealed during their honeymoon. Tyler hadn't engaged in any marital relations with Bethany. Despite the belief that prayer had cured his homosexuality, the reality was entirely different. Tyler admitted how strong his delusions, avoidance, and rationalizations had been. He had been having relationships with other male members before the marriage, and even physically practiced for the honeymoon with another man, which he publicly announced in a community meeting, and no one found this strange. Shockingly, Tyler continued physical relationships with several male members after the marriage, but Bethany was unaware of this. This dysfunctional relationship severely damaged Bethany's self-esteem. Instead of demanding a divorce, she blamed herself and became increasingly isolated and lonely. 6 weeks after the wedding, Bethany showed signs of severe depression and suicidal thoughts, but Tyler didn't inform her family and even suspected her behavior was just an act. The day before the incident, Tyler forced members at a prayer meeting to choose between community or selfishness, demanding that Bethany also make a choice. She was already curled up in fear, and Tyler ignored her, saying he was tired of her. The day after the prayer meeting, Bethany left for her nursing job. About 12 hours later, a civilian reported a minivan that had been parked at Longview Lake for a long time, and police responded. What they found at the scene was Bethany's body sitting in the back seat of the van, leaning against the window. Her head was covered with a plastic bag. There were signs of the plastic being sucked into her mouth, and nearby were an empty bottle of sleeping pills and a farewell note. On the surface, it looked like she had taken her own life, but there were suspicious elements. The medication she had taken was Tylenol PM. In fact, this medication is relatively safe even in large doses and not typically lethal. Someone truly intending to end their life would likely have chosen something more deadly. Moreover, as a practicing nurse, she would certainly have known this. The note found at the scene also didn't match her usual writing style, and the fact that she left grateful messages until just before her death didn't seem consistent with her supposed intentions. Tyler's reaction was also uncharacteristic for a newlywed husband. He remained calm and showed no emotion during his first meeting with investigators. Meanwhile, Bethany's parents completely broke down after hearing about their daughter's death through friends. The medical examiner ruled her death a suicide, but her mother, Carol, requested further investigation, finding everything suspicious. While preparing for Bethany's funeral, Carol received a shocking call from investigators requesting the return of Bethany's body. The reason was that Micah Moore, Tyler's sexual partner and Bethany's close friend, had voluntarily gone to the police station and confessed that Bethany's death wasn't suicide, but murder, committed by him. This news was another shock to Carol, who was still grieving her daughter's death. Micah confessed that he had put a bag over Bethany's head and held it until her body shook. This was consistent with the scene evidence that Bethany was found with her eyes open and the plastic bag sucked into her mouth. And Micah made an even more shocking claim, that Bethany's husband, Tyler, had ordered him to kill her. Micah claimed they had drugged and sexually abused Bethany, and Tyler ordered the murder because she was planning to tell her therapist about it. Tyler was surprised to see Micah's arrest during police questioning and firmly denied his claims as nonsensical, but investigators now believed they had a motive for murder. Meanwhile, Tyler claimed he wasn't the extreme leader the media portrayed. He said community members could exercise free will, but the people investigators interviewed didn't see it that way. Tyler claimed Micah's confession stemmed from his mental health issues and pressure from IHOP leaders. He said they made Micah a scapegoat to protect their reputation. The IHOP organization denounced Tyler and severed all ties with him, but he remained free. The investigation became increasingly complicated. Micah claimed he had drugged and sexually assaulted Bethany, but blood tests from the autopsy found no drugs, and there was insufficient forensic evidence inside the vehicle. Nevertheless, investigators had to consider it a murder case because of the confession. At the same time, more evidence emerged about Tyler's sexual relationships with men in the group. At least 4 members testified that Tyler used his authority to have sexual relationships with men. Tyler initially denied this, but eventually had to admit to some sexual contact. Throughout all this, Tyler firmly denied the allegation that he ordered Micah to kill his wife, but investigators thought Micah lacked sufficient motive to murder Bethany on his own. When prosecutors charged Micah with murder, an unexpected twist occurred. Micah's lawyer held a press conference declaring that his client did not commit the murder and was withdrawing his confession. The lawyer claimed Micah had been dragged to the police station by church community representatives, and his confession came after a type of exorcism performed by religious leaders. There was pressure to assign responsibility for Bethany's death. Tyler supported this claim, stating he was convinced Micah's confession stemmed from a psychotic episode. Meanwhile, IHOP denied performing any exorcism in a statement, but refused to answer additional questions about the case. Tyler now acknowledged his role in Bethany's death, saying, "Bethany deserved a heterosexual husband, but got a homosexual one." Despite 2 years of effort by prosecutors and investigators, they couldn't find evidence to support Micah's confession. 2 weeks before the trial, prosecutors quietly had to drop the murder charge against Micah. There was insufficient evidence to guarantee a conviction, and if they lost at trial, they couldn't request a retrial. Bethany Deaton's death remains unsolved. This case, entangled with community control, secret relationships, confessions, and retractions, ultimately proved neither suicide nor murder conclusively, and legally, no one was punished. The investigation continues to this day, and we hope the police will someday uncover the truth.